I had 8.5 million shorts views between December 1st and January 30th, and thanks to those shorts views, my main videos received 253,000 views in that same period, on a gaming channel that started December with roughly 3,000 subscribers, and then ended those 60 days with over 20,000 subs. This video is going to break down everything I did to get those views, every failure I made, how I learned from those failures, and how I now consistently can get 100,000 to 200,000 views a day from shorts, and how you can do it too. But first, if that hasn't convinced you to start using YouTube Shorts, let me dispel a few worries, myths, and answer some questions that might have been planted in you from creators out there. All of your success will be based on understanding these few questions before we jump into actually how to use Shorts. First, will Shorts create an audience that only watch short format content? No! Very few people on the planet only watch short format content, and many people who watch short format content will actively seek out longer format content from the same creators they watch. There is a huge demographic of people who watch short format content, and what you create will influence the audience that you get. Channels who produce long and short format have seen far better growth this year than those who only do one or the other. YouTube has even done study after study to make sure this is true, and I'll add links in the description so you guys can see that you're all good if you use both. Number 2, Shorts will hurt your YouTube channel and limit your growth. No, not at all. Maybe last year you needed a second YouTube channel, but with the semi-new changes YouTube has made, Shorts have their own place on your main channel now, and they are fantastic for helping your channel be discovered and helping you bring those new audiences in, especially if you're a small creator. The third thing I hear is, my content just doesn't fit in short format. Wrong. Every type of content fits into short format. Saying this is the same as saying, I don't know how to make my content fit, so I refuse to learn. Your content might not fit right now, but you can learn to make it fit. I just spent 3 to 4 weeks trying different formats and figuring out how to make a specific idea I had work in a short format. Everything I changed was failing over and over and over until I figured it out. And the format, the idea I wanted to use, started getting hundreds of thousands of views. You just have to put the work in. Number 4, Shorts views are far less valuable than long format views. Yeah, this is sort of true. To truly grow using Shorts, first you need to accept that views on Shorts are technically less valuable. And in the same vein, you need to understand that when it comes to Shorts, if you're getting 300, 500, or even 1500 views, that isn't actually very good. You see, on long videos, you have views and then you have impressions. Impressions are when someone sees the video's thumbnail, and a view is when someone actually clicks that thumbnail and watches the video. On Shorts, they are fed to viewers through a feed, so no one clicks it. That means impressions aren't really a thing. And instead, you have a different analytic, shown in feed, which is how many times the short was shown to people in the feed, and then another analytic, swipe versus viewed, which is how many of those people swiped away versus how many stayed to watch. If someone is fed your short in the feed and they swipe away, well, it's not a view. But if they stay a tiny bit longer, and it doesn't seem like it needs to be that much longer, then it becomes a view. This makes it far easier to get views, and because it's easier to get views, we end up with a larger view count than long format. Easier views means less valuable in a weird way. But why is 500 or 1500 views not good? Well, YouTube needs to learn if your short that you just uploaded is worth showing to people. To do that, it has to show it to people first. So it will show the short to a few hundred or even 1,000 people as a test of sorts. Now, if those people swipe away quickly or just don't watch the entire length of the short to give you a good retention, well then YouTube will stop sharing that short. With this in mind, you need to be more conscious that views are less valuable, because you'll naturally get more views than you'll likely have ever had before. But this is where they have their own value. Growing a channel, growing a brand, or growing a business in the real world is all about impressions on you or your product. The more people who see you, and the more often those people see you repeatedly, means the more likely they are to engage with your product, which in this case is videos. But of course, they have to be the right audience. You're not going to try and show your brand new fried chicken business where customers can pick out their live chicken they want to eat, strangle it themselves, and then have it served to them for lunch to a bunch of vegetarians. Which leads us to our first step. And I know this is pretty far in the video for step number 1, but here it is. The first step is one that you are going to hate to hear, but hold on to me here, because the only reason you hate it is because it's been explained to you badly. I want you to niche down. Don't close the video. I know it sucks to hear, but I'm not telling you to play just one game or make one type of content. I am telling you to make a type of content for a specific audience, a key demographic as it's called. If you upload 30 shorts across 2 months, that's a short every second day, and every single one of those shorts is on a different topic or a different game, or it's aimed at a completely different demographic, you'll have far less success, if any success at all, to be honest. But if you upload 30 shorts across 2 months, all targeting the same demographic of people, the same audience, well, you'll have far more success. Let me give you an example of demographics so you understand I'm not telling you to just be boring and focus on one thing. For gamers, it could be Nintendo games like Point Crow, Small Ant, or Alpharad. Or you could do strategy games like Real Civil Engineer or Ambiguous Amphibian. Or you can get into competitive shooters like Tens, or indie games like Northern Lion or Dangerously Funny, horror games like Markiplier or Lonely Shark. Take note here, none of these examples are picking one game to play. They're picking a genre that has a shared player base. If someone is interested in RimWorld, they'll probably be keen on Project Zomboid. People who like Zelda probably like Mario. Just remember not to get too specific, or the viewer base will become too small and you'll have much less growth. But starting specific isn't bad, because you're able to expand later. Maybe for now I'll just play Pokemon, but in the future I'll be able to expand to playing Zelda and Mario. Once you have your demographic, you need to start thinking up ideas and how you're going to structure the idea for a short. Personally, I find the best performing shorts are questions, challenges, or ideas that can be conveyed to the viewer in roughly 2 to 5 seconds. And they have to be an idea that keeps them watching to see the ending. Hey, I'm Eljay from the future. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to say that I'm about 6-7 months past filming this video, and it's the 12th of July, and I'm still getting 100,000 views every single day on my channel, and I haven't uploaded in about a week. Now, I'm about to show you examples of some amazing shorts that have had brilliant ideas attached to them, but I realized I didn't give you any strategies or tools to brainstorm your ideas. So really quickly, the first way I brainstorm ideas is with my butt. You take something you love, say for me, catching shiny Pokemon, and then you add a but, and fill in something that makes it more interesting. Catching shiny Pokemon, but if I use more than 3 balls, I have to kill it. Or beating Dark Souls, but Twitch chat can turn off my controller. The second way, plain and simple, watch shorts, watch content, absorb content. Take notes the entire time you're absorbing that content. A great concept is to look at creators outside of your niche and bring those ideas into your niche. For me, I made a Pokemon video about surviving 100 days, and that idea actually came from the Stardew Valley community, a different community. And finally, using tools. You can use things like ChatGPT or all sorts of stuff to generate ideas, but specifically, I've been using VidIQ's daily idea generator. You type in some keywords or an idea, and it spits back a dozen different ideas based on high-performing content, and it also generates personalized ideas every day based on your channel and its best-performing videos in that topic. I'm not sponsored by VidIQ. I've used the free version for about 6 years now, but I've been in talks to partner with them for ages because I wanted to get you guys a big discount, and we succeeded. If you use the link in the description right now, then you can get their paid version for just $1. It's cancel anytime, and it's a great tool for beginners. And again, their free version exists, and I've used it for years. It's a great app. I'm really keen to see your butts in the comments, and okay, let's look at how ideas can make or break your entire shorts retention rate. I have 3 examples for you. The first is Jessa, a creator with around 11 million subscribers who does IRL content in the vein of Mr. Beast. The example I'm showing you is titled, "How many balloons does it take to make a yoga ball fly?" And he established that by shockingly saying it in the first 6 seconds. This will increase his viewed versus swiped statistic, which I personally aim to make sure that I have a 75% minimum on all of my viewed versus swiped statistics. I do aim to get 80% as my real goal, but 75% is the minimum for it to do well in the algorithm, I find. Now, the rest of Jess's short is adding more and more balloons until the yoga ball flies away. And with each time more balloons are added, he gives a quick reaction so that it's not just a boring number counting, and instead he includes his personality and breaks up the pacing of the short. Now, once the question is answered, once the yoga ball has started flying, what does he do? Does he hang around telling people why it worked? Does he ask for people to like and subscribe? No. He ends the short the moment he has given the answer, the moment he has given the viewer the value they were watching for and has answered that question. Because the moment people get what they want, they will swipe away. This creator is aimed at a different demographic than you most likely, but don't let that cloud your judgment. The structure is important for every demographic, no matter who you are. The second example is from my channel, where my niche is Nintendo and Pokemon. The short I am showing you is Wonder Trading Pokemon until I get a Dragon type, and this has 1.5 million views. By now, it might be higher than that actually. Using a similar structure, I established the challenge in the first 5 seconds by simply saying, how many trades will it take to turn my Pokemon into A, and then a wheel starts spinning on screen. Little subtitles start popping up with potential options, and then the wheel lands on a Dragon type, and without any delay, I start trading Pokemon randomly 10 seconds into the short. Now, I debated not including the wheel because it does add 5 to 8 seconds to the intro, but I actually found it was a way to make the short far more engaging. People see the wheel start, they see the little jokes popping up, and they stick around to see what it lands on. The longer they stick around, the more they've already become invested, and they're likely to watch all the way to the end. From 10 seconds till 52 seconds, we are constantly trading Pokemon, making quick jokes about each random Pokemon we get, and at around 53 seconds, I get the Dragon type. And this is where I make a slight mistake in this short. I say, oh, an Axu, that counts. And then I say, it only took us 6 trades. Saying all of this added 5 seconds, making the short 57 seconds long in total. And if we look at my retention rate graph, you'll see those 5 seconds have a huge drop in retention because people saw me get the Dragon and they swiped away. If I had ended this short on Axu, that counts, bam, it ends there, then this short would have gotten even more views due to having a higher retention. Am I upset about getting almost 2 million views? No. Would I be hyped if it was way more because I cut earlier and didn't waste time? Yes. Obviously, you don't have to do a question or challenge video, but these are a great way to show you how a structure of a short can do so much to boost retention rate. Let me quickly show you another example. I made 2 shorts. They're both the exact same format as each other. And I want to show you just the intro of each, and then you need to pick which one has the better viewed versus swipe statistic. Here is option A. Day 7 of surprise trading one of every single Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet. Here is the best of box 7. And here is option B. I caught every single Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet, and I'm gonna wonder trade them all, including legendaries, right now. So what do you think? Oh, that's right. If you said option A, you're dead wrong. Option A has a major issue. The first being, people think, day 9, I haven't seen the first 8 days yet, and they swipe away. It's also more confusing. Are we surprise trading every Pokemon out or surprise trading to try get every Pokemon back? It doesn't make sense. Option B though had a 77% viewed because people didn't need prior knowledge. They didn't feel like they needed to watch 8 earlier days, and they understood the concept quicker and easier and obviously clearer. You want to establish offered value, provide the content, and then deliver on the promised value. And then you want to end before the viewer even realizes the short is over. But that leads me to the most common question. How long should shorts be? After all, if you just ask one question and answer it instantly in 8 seconds, won't the retention rate be amazing? Well, the answer is no. The retention rate on that will do terribly. Let me show you our third example, which is again, actually 2 shorts. Both shorts are the exact same format. Guess the Pokemon in 60 seconds or release a shiny. They both open the exact same way, and they both end instantly after value is given. The energy, the editing, everything about these shorts is the exact same. The first short, short A, has a 110% retention rate. The second short, short B, has an 87% retention rate. Which one do you think did better and got more views? You'd assume short A would have better performance because of the higher retention rate, right? Well, wrong. That short only got 7,500 views in total. But short B with an 87% retention rate has 152,000 views. So why did B do so much better? Well, the difference is the short length. Short A is 12 seconds long and short B is 43 seconds long. Thanks to this test and tests by my friend Lonely Shark, we have managed to figure out a few rules for length and retention rate. I've broken these down into 3 rules specifically. Rule number 1, don't bother going under 25 seconds unless you can make a short people want to watch twice or engage, like commenting or sharing it before swiping away. And really do not go under 15 seconds. Rule number 2, the shortest to aim for I find is 30 seconds, and it requires a 90 to 95% retention rate minimum in order to gain traction, as a rough guideline. Rule number 3, for millions of views, I've found that 45 to 55 second long shorts with a minimum of 85% to 90% retention rate will often perform better. Obviously, the shorter the short, the higher retention is required, so 45 seconds, aim to get around 90%, 55 seconds, you can go a little lower to 85%. Again, these are just rough guidelines, but every single channel that I've worked with has said the same thing. Getting a 75% viewed versus swiped minimum, and then getting an 85 to 90% retention rate on content that is 45 seconds long minimum, and that's how you get numbers. But does this mean that any short content that's too short won't get views? God no, it's just far easier to create a piece of content that is 45 seconds long and get 85% retention from someone watching it once before leaving than it is to make something 20 seconds long and get someone to watch it 2 or 3 times before leaving. But of course, it's important to remember that just because you reach these numbers doesn't mean every single short will boom to millions of views. Let's say you release a short and it has 1,000 views, and you've successfully reached all of these analytics. It's 55 seconds long, 95% retention rate, 80% viewed versus swiped. You are crushing it. So why is YouTube not sending it out? Well, it might be that 800 of your views are returning viewers, people who have watched your content before, people who are invested in you and your content. But 200 viewers are new viewers, people YouTube tested the content to, and they swiped away instantly. Or maybe they didn't watch much, which is what brought that retention rate down. YouTube doesn't know if this short is good for new viewers, so they'll stop trying to show it to new viewers right now until they know who the right person is. Because it could also be that YouTube just doesn't know who your audience is yet, which is why I also recommend aiming for the same audience every release, because the people who it's meant for will keep watching it over and over and over, and it will know who to show the short to. So say we have the right length shorts. How do we increase the retention rate? Well, the first step is to obviously follow the structure established earlier in the video and cut anything that doesn't align with the value you are setting up, the value you are promising at the start. This obviously takes practice, so don't worry if your first one, you leave a bit too much in. Just keep trying. I still mess this up weekly trying new things, but remember, failure equals opportunities to learn. Failure is personal growth if you do it right. Other tips for increasing retention? Well, remember where our eye is drawn. You want to keep your content centered and in the middle of the screen, especially for that opening hook. Think about where we naturally are looking on our phone screens as we're swiping through, and put your content there. An example, if we look at my Wonder Trades short, we have a graphic and my first subtitle in the very center. So the moment someone swipes up and my short appears, they'll start reading it. And then that first subtitle they're reading, well, it actually moves with an animation up to just below my cam, before the next subtitle pops in underneath where it moved to. The core content and the trades stay in the center, but we draw our eye to the rest of the subtitles, which keep popping up in the same place, so the viewer continues to read them over and over and over, becoming engaged in the short. Which leads to our next tip, subtitles. These are mandatory on shorts and can be done in almost every video editing software. I really recommend looking up how to add your own text with your own editing software so that you can add subtitles as well. Just start simple, add them word by word, and I promise you, the more you do it, the faster you'll get at it and the more dynamic you can be with your animations as well. I promise if you just work towards it, you'll crush it. Next up is sound design. Yes, most shorts are watched without audio, aka another reason why subtitles are crucial. But for those who do watch with the sound on, having good sound design is crucial. So consider adding music or light sound effects where possible, so it isn't just your voice or gameplay. And please remember to level your music and voice tracks properly so people can hear you. And finally, once you've cut the short down to just the valuable parts, it's time to make that more engaging visually by adding graphics or simple but effective cutting. For example, when I was trading to get a Pokemon smaller than a jam jar, I had it pop up an actual jam jar on screen as a graphic. And then later, I photoshopped potential Pokemon into the jam jar to be visually more engaging. This might be a bit advanced if you're just starting out, so instead you could try do something simple. Like when I say a Pokemon Ash is caught, Ash appears in the edit so that people can go, oh, that's a visual change. It's interesting to watch. Or if we're going even simpler, that's totally fine as well. You can just cut from wider shots to close-ups to where the action is. In my Guess the Pokemon shorts, whenever I pick a Pokemon to guess, I cut and zoom into the footage of me clicking on the Pokemon sprite that I'm going to guess. And then I cut right back out to the wide, and if I'm wrong, I'll do the same thing to cut in close to when it says that I'm wrong. Doing this brings valuable information to the center for the viewer, and it also means that your short stays energetic and interesting. It keeps the viewers engaged without feeling bored, and it directs the eye with visual storytelling so they don't get confused and lost and swipe away. If I stayed wide on those guessing shorts, you wouldn't be able to see what I guessed, you wouldn't be able to see that I was wrong, or what moves the Pokemon were using. It's all about putting the information where they can see it easily so they don't get distracted. But you might not feel confident when you first start out. You might just be learning to edit. Don't worry, that's totally fine. Shorts are the perfect learning tool for an editor. It teaches you how to tell stories in a short space of time, how to convey information, value, and you can make them quicker than a full video, meaning you get more feedback faster and can learn more lessons. If you don't know, I actually went to university for film and digital media, and in one of my very first classes of my very first year at that university, our lecturer said that we had to make a 60-second short film. We all lost our mind. How were we meant to do that? How can we tell a story in such a short space of time? This was way before TikTok, this was way before Shorts, this was early Vine days. And honestly, we didn't think we'd be able to make a short film in 60 seconds. But little did I know that activity of forcing me to tell a story concisely in 60 seconds was more valuable than any other editing class I have ever taken. So play with your style, keep creating, and remember that you're trying to find your own unique voice and share that with people. Along the way, you'll find an audience, learn a lot, and probably make a lot of mistakes, which are all opportunities to learn from. Which leads me to the mistakes to avoid. Let's cover a few of the small common mistakes before I wrap this video up with the most common mistake and the worst mistake a shorts creator can and will make. Now again, making mistakes isn't a bad thing. If I hadn't made the mistake of editing and scheduling 7 shorts, all 15 to 18 seconds long, before going on my honeymoon and then coming back and having absolutely 0 views, then I wouldn't have learned about how long shorts should be or the correct retention rates. So I'm gonna say it again, that is mistake number 1, making your shorts far too short without a reason to watch them multiple times. Now, mistake number 2, that is putting important information such as visuals, subtitles, in places that will be hidden behind the like, dislike, subscribe, the title at the bottom, or even the mobile phone speaker at the top. While editing, you should use an overlay similar to this TikTok safe overlay. And remember that anywhere gray is going to be is hard for viewers to see. Your content should be front and center in the middle and upper third because that is where our eyes are drawn to normally. If you want this overlay that I'm showing you right now, it will be hosted in our Discord server, which is linked in the description. And mistake number 3, just quickly before we drop the most common mistake, I just want to say again, edit your shorts. Holy crap. No, seriously. Why is nobody editing their shorts anymore? Blanket converting gaming clips or long-winded rants and uploading them is the laziest thing I've ever seen. I do not know what is going on. It's like the last 2 months, there has been this massive increase in people not editing their shorts. They just convert it to vertical and push it out. I'm losing my mind. Auto-converting a landscape video into vertical and posting it isn't going to work. It's not good. Why do I have to say this? Is someone telling you guys not to edit your shorts? What's going on? Why is no one editing their shorts anymore? It was like everyone was editing up until 2 months ago, and now all of a sudden, all these gaming creators are just not editing their shorts. What's going on? Please edit your shorts! But finally, the most common mistake for shorts is just not watching shorts in your niche. Seriously, you'll never succeed if you don't spend time researching, watching, and most importantly, actually enjoying shorts content in your topic. Search up your niche, hit shorts, and check out some of the most popular. Learn from what they're doing. Use them to inspire you, teach you, and most importantly, learn to respect short format content. Short format isn't worse than long format. It's a different format with its own unique value, its own challenges, and its own things that it can deliver and give to you. Once a week, I spend an hour or two literally just watching shorts in my niche and writing out the things I notice, the things I like. The other day, I actually timed every single short I watched. I watched 110 different shorts and I timed every single one of them. I counted how many cuts they had and how long each shot was. That's right, I went a little bit too aggressive. But I learned something. I learned that I was over editing my shorts. I had too many cuts in mind compared to what other successful creators were doing. And that's why some of my more intensely edited shorts were failing. All these cuts were happening constantly and people were falling off because they couldn't follow along what was going on. So I had to slow my editing down a little bit. But essentially, too many people make the mistake of never watching shorts in their niche. And so they make terrible shorts that won't work. Or they just upload boring, unedited clips. You can skip all of those hours of failing with just 1 or 2 hours of research a week. And you'll be so much better at being a content creator. And if you want to keep researching, well, click this video right here. It's here or here. It covers all the new YouTube features that were added recently because you need to know about them. I'll see you guys next week.